You've always encouraged us to incorporate our various talents and expressions of art and creation into our practice. I once heard a Rinpoche say, from one point of view, everything is Dharma art. Can you speak a little more about this?
This is an interesting question and a great question that integrate our lives with our practice. This person said, everything is Dharma art. What does Dharma art means? That is a kind of question, right? So Dharma has many meaning, but in general, Dharma essence, when we say Dharma, I just want to say a few words about my interpretation of this. Everything is Dharma art. I would say that it means that any expressions of our true nature, Buddha nature, whether through traditional Buddhist practice we do, or creative arts, or even daily lives, can embody and convey the Dharma essence. Do you agree? In general term, Dharma essence. This perspective suggests that if we approach our art or anything, even to our lives, whether it's painting, music, writing, or any creative expression, or even AI art, from a place of clarity, presence, and compassion. So, in other words, Dharma perspective. It can be a vehicle for wisdom and awakening, much like a practice on the cushion. So that's one thing I would say in terms of expression of, or the embodying and conveying the Dharma essence. In Vajrayana, there is a view that all aspects of life are interconnected manifestations of enlightened awareness. So this wisdom, timeless awareness, or enlightened awareness, or Buddha mind. This is why we are encouraged to incorporate personal talents and expressions. Each of us carry this talent and traits we want to make use of, so they can serve as a tool for awakening when they are grounded in awareness and purpose. So art itself does not become a Dharma art. You know what I mean? Just as a Dharma practice itself doesn't become a Dharma practice that leads to awakening in a sense. So, but Dharma practice, in general, when we say the Dharma practice, spiritual practice, asks us to open to reality as it is. Our art also can help us express aspects of reality that might be difficult to access in words or ordinary common language, or even traditional forms of meditation. You know what I mean? Buddha nature is ineffable. Through Dharma art, with awareness and clarity and purpose, we can express the aspect of reality that might be difficult, hard to access, hard to express in word or traditional forms of meditations and formal practice. That's another thing I would say. Then, of course, the definition of Dharma art. When our expression of creativity flow from the place of connection to our innate wisdom, they naturally embody Dharma principles and become a form of what could be called Dharma art. So that's just my kind of interpretation. While not every moment of life is automatically imbued with awareness, like as we know, we have the potential to turn it into Dharma art through our intention and mindfulness, allowing every action and creation to become an expression of path awakening. So when we look at the Buddhist history, throughout the long Buddhist history, we can see the creativities of our Buddha nature. Our Buddha nature has unlimited potential, including creativities and all these amazing things Buddha nature has potential to be expressed. Through our free expressions of arts and other creative endeavors, we unveil our deepest essence, basic goodness. Therefore, throughout the Buddhist history, all the great practitioners, or the great yogis, the Mahasiddhas, and including my teachers, have produced amazing Buddhist art, including sculptures, paintings, temples, and all performing arts, you name it, right? Even in Buddhist country like Japan, Zen, which teaches the going beyond the world, inexpressible, ineffable nature of reality. But then they produce the most art, numerous Dharma art, you can call, the expression of Buddha nature in Japan, we can see, and all over the world. Maybe Dharma art doesn't restrict to the Buddhist. You can see that all the spiritual seekers produce these amazing arts. That way, especially in tantric context, look at the Mahasiddhas, or the great adept in Tantra. They are just amazing, right? So they are all fully engaged in their lives. So that's one way they say it. So spiritual practice is here, and kind of creating art is here. No, everything's kind of integrated and creating beauty through their creative mind. So exercising this creative mind. Each of us has these potentials waiting for us to unveil or uncover this kind of artistic work, not limited to just painting or sculpture, but more art, even like a haiku poem or whatever. Those kind of activities very enrich or enhance or support the spiritual journey. Something like that. I'm sure this is a kind of deep subject because Dharma itself means many meanings, like teaching. When we say the Dharma, first of all, teaching, like a Dharma jewel, that's in the context of the three jewel. Dharma jewel is like a teaching, Buddha's teaching, and scriptures. Then the Dharma itself means like a Dharmakaya, truth or essence, or the things as they are, so truth. And Dharma itself means that hold. Etymologically speaking, Dru means hold or sustained. So something to sustain. So Dharma art could be the art that teaches us. When we look at something you can learn from that expressions, perhaps learning about yourself or, deepest dimension of who you are, you never experienced before. Then that is a Dharma art in a sense, in the context of the teaching. Like everything could be a teaching in a sense. If we are aware of it, we can wake up to it. Also Dharma art, Dharma is a truth, like a Dharmakaya, Buddha mind. So everything is a Dharma essence, the union of great bliss and emptiness in the highest yoga tantric context. This is an interesting subject. So those of you who engage or are interested in this kind of aspect of Buddhism, I would like to hear. Yeah, we are exploring the Dharma art through this podcast, which Elma and I have been doing. Not necessarily just a Buddhist theme or nothing like that, but something, these senses, right? We all have senses, sense doors and senses. And Buddha nature, each of have unlimited potentials. How this expressed through those sense doors. This is a relationship as well, right? We are relating to the Ikkyu. We are relating to that ancient master at this moment. When we look at the Ikkyu's product or the Ryokan's poem we read the first time, we can have a moment of encounter with this great wisdom through that timeless Dharma art. That's a kind of amazing thing. That's why I would love to encourage ourselves to have fun with expressing what you've learned or dakinis and those things. Who is that guy who created just the silence?
John Cage?
Yeah, John Cage.
Yes, 4 minutes, 33 seconds.
Interesting to kind of discuss about what the Dharma art means in terms of, I brought up communications, also emptiness, and primacy of subjective mind, and all these things.